You have been well trained, my young apprentice.
Alright guys, so let's get right into the book. So first, as you can see, we're going to be going through this entire short box, and I'm going to be going over all the Marvel stuff as well as all some of the Dark Horse first appearances for Star Wars books. So first up is the Force Awakens #1. This was a 1 in 100 variant signed by Joe Quesada, recently picked up. So this is first appearance of pretty much all the characters currently in the last trilogy, besides one of them. So you have Rey, BB-8, Finn, and Kylo Ren. And this was the 1 in 100 variant, showing off also the regular cover for that book. And surprisingly, this is not the first appearance of Poe Dameron. This book was released in June of 2016, but Poe Dameron #1 actually predates Force Awakens by 2 months. So Poe Dameron #1 is actually his first appearance. So if you guys are a Poe Dameron fan and think he may be coming back in some sort of solo movie or series, that's the book that you want to go after. So let's go into more of the Marvel books. Again, guys, I went down such a rabbit hole going from comic book speculating investments website. So next up is a book that I am heavily speccing on. I'll tell you, I have about 20 copies of this book. It's Star Wars Kanan the Last Jedi #1. Not only is this the first appearance of Kanan, of course, spoiler alert, he did die in Rebels, so I don't think he's coming back, but you will see him as a younger Padawan in Star Wars The Clone Wars this last season. But this is first appearance of Ezra Bridger and Sabine Wren. Now, we all know what's going on with Ahsoka Tano being cast in Season 2 of Mandalorian. Now, we could actually see Sabine, because if you have watched Rebels, spoiler alert, at the end, they both go hunting for Ezra. So I will tell you, this is a book that I am heavily speccing on. Get it for cover price, if not less. There are a few variants, and I'm going to show you the one variant that I have right now, which is the 1 in 25, which is all of a sudden just became this really hot book. So if this is anything like Ahsoka Tano's first appearance, this is the first full appearance, according to CGC, of Ezra Bridger and Sabine Wren, who we may see coming back at some point in some series. Next up from the Marvel Universe, and you guys I've been telling you about this book for quite a while, Darth Maul #2, first appearance of not only Hondo Ohnaka, but of course the bounty hunter Cad Bane. So I have several copies of this, just showing them off. And also, I do have one of the variants. I don't have the 1 in 25 variant, but this was the 40th anniversary, showing off Luke first getting his lightsaber. Next up, guys, this is Star Wars Rogue One. Star Wars Rogue One was the first appearance of course, Jyn Erso, but the more important person is Cassian Andor, because he is supposedly coming to Disney+. So I have 2 copies of that. Really nice. I'm trying to get some of the variants, but you never know. Next up is the last book as far as the Marvel ones that I have, and then we're going to be getting into all the Old Republic stuff and Knights of the Old Republic. So this is Rise of Kylo Ren #3. This was the first cameo appearance of Vin Chris, who is going to be in this new High Republic multi-publisher crossover between Marvel, IDW, I believe Boom Studios, and even some fictional stuff as well. So here's her first appearance as a cameo. So I have several copies of this book that I am just completely speccing on, as you can see, that anytime I can find this, because this is sold out and did go to additional printings, but as well, I do have the 1 in 25 variant as well, and this is definitely going off to CGC because this is really nice. So guys, that is all the Marvel books to show off. And one last one for the Marvel books. If you guys have played Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, you guys know, of course, of the main character, but this is actually a prequel comic book. This was a 4-issue series. This is first appearance of Seri Junda, who is one of the mentors to the main character in Fallen Order, as well as Endor Cordova, who is another character who you see throughout the entire storyline of Jedi Fallen Order. Really cool book I found for cover price. You never know. Maybe they may end up in some type of prequel series or even a prequel game, which is nice. So let's get right into all the Dark Horse comics, guys. All right, guys, and first up is the original first Dark Horse comics for Star Wars of any type of series. This is Dark Horse Comics number 7. This is actually the first appearance of Nome Sunrider and also first appearance of the Old Republic. So this is a book that you can pretty much find for under $10. It is definitely one of those cool Dark Horse books because they have several stories in it, but this is the first story past the original Marvel series back in the early 80s. All right, guys, next up, let's see what else I have for in this long, short box of stuff. So I'm just going to keep pulling books out of here. Guys, I think I've shown this off before. This is Star Wars Clone Wars Adventures. This was Free Comic Book Day back in 2004. This is actually the first appearance of General Grievous. Really cool book to have. Never know if he may show up in another thing, but you know what? I think I got this. Didn't get it for free because I wasn't getting the comic back in 2004 for the Free Comic Book Day, but I did find it online for pretty cheap. So let's see what else is in the box. What else can I pick up out of here? All right, guys, another book that I told you guys, really cool. This is Star Wars Jedi Mace Windu. This is first appearance of Saz Ventress. Of course, she is one of the villains in Star Wars Clone Wars. And I got 2 copies. These are pretty nice. These are like $20 books. The cover price was about $5, but you'll see them going for about $20 online. Not a bad book to have. All right, guys. Next up is, this is a really cool book. This is Star Wars Jango Fett Open Seasons. This is actually the first appearance of Count Dooku as Darth Tyrannus. This was a 4-issue mini, which is a prequel to Star Wars Attack of the Clones. So really just an interesting book to have. I've actually have all 4 issues, but this is the first appearance that the Emperor first calls him Darth Tyrannus. Let's just keep going through this stuff, guys, with all the amazing stuff that I have in here. Of course, I tell you guys about this all the time. Issue number 3 of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I'm going to grab a couple more because I do have them in here. And I did talk about this on a special edition of a Mikey Sutton report. So the first cameo appearance of Darth Maul, this is the variant cover, of course, with all the actors who played the characters, but then there are these. And I have quite a few of these for the first full appearance of Darth Maul, if anything ever happens. Really cool, just book to have. Alright, guys, let's just keep running through this. I don't want to show you some books that I've already probably shown before. Just some cool old Dark Horse stuff. Here's an interesting book. This is Star Wars Jedi Academy Leviathan. This is first appearance of Kaipu Duran. He's basically another essential character to the new Jedi Order. And, you know, and there's also some other first appearances as well. But I basically picked it up because I saw it on CBSI's website. Figured might as well, right? At the end of the day. Now getting into all the Knights of the Old Republic books. I actually completed a full set recently for a very cheap price. Here is the first Knights of the Old Republic. Really cool book. For number 1, I do have a Knights of the Old Republic 0, which came out after Knights of the Old Republic 1, which is kind of just showing off some of the different characters in here. What else do I have? This is Knights of the Old Republic Handbook. And now, guys, this is where it's going to get interesting because, as you know, Darth Malak and Darth Revan are some awesome characters in Knights of the Old Republic. And to show off first is Star Wars Tales number 23. This is actually the variant cover. Shout out to my boy Ink Jedi on Instagram. I was able to get one of them from him and another one I actually found in a store. This is the variant cover for this book. I do not own the main cover. And it's funny what happens with the variants and the main covers. So for Star Wars 23, the regular cover is actually more expensive than this variant cover, which I'm not really sure why, but it's still a cool book, I mean, nonetheless. But if you guys know, that was only a cameo appearance. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic number 9 is the first full appearance of Darth Revan and Malak. But, hey, I don't know. Let the market decide, right? Past that, then, of course, the first time we actually see Darth Revan in his mask is in issue number 42, which is really cool as well. Another book that I actually found for a very cheap price, so I'm glad I got this one as well, because I really am picking up a lot of these Star Wars books, because you know what? They're all really cheap to be at the end of the day, right? And next up, guys, this is Star Wars Jedi vs. Sith, issue number 1. It was a 6-issue series, and if you guys know anything about Star Wars mythology, Darth Bane was one of the surviving Siths of the Old Republic. He is the creator of the Rule of Two, where there can only be a master and apprentice, and basically the only way that you can become a master is by the apprentice killing the master and then taking on a new apprentice. So this is a very cool book. I do have the variant cover from Dynamic Forces. Unfortunately it's at our sponsor Rocket Comics, because I am having them press that book before I send it off to CGC. Next up is a great book. Of course, this book has all of a sudden become very hot. Star Wars Heir to the Empire #1, first appearance of Thrawn as well as Mara Jade. And I do have, right currently with me, is 2 copies. I do have a 3rd copy, and that one is also at Rocket Comics getting pressed. Hopefully I'm going to send all 3 of these out to CGC, and whatever ones are lower, I'll be selling them and keeping the highest rate. Here's a fun book, guys. This is Star Wars Dark Empire #2. This was a really cool series back in the early 90s. The 2nd issue is actually the first appearance of the Clone Emperor. And of course, we all know, if you guys have read or have heard, that the Emperor that is in episode 9 is actually a clone. So this is the first comic book appearance of the cloned Emperor. And I actually was able to pick up 2 of the regular copies. And they also did these awesome platinum editions. So this is all platinum. I found a nice 9.4 for under 50 bucks. And they even have gold editions as well, which is highly tough to get. They did all 6 issues in the regular cover. They also have them in the platinum and the gold. This is where it gets very interesting. Star Wars Tales #24. This is the last issue of this series. And this is the first appearance of Darth Nihilus as well as his apprentice, Vizir Amar. Now, again, this is where it falls into play as far as what is more expensive, the regular cover or the variant cover. This is actually the cheaper of the 2, and I'll tell you why, because I ended up getting the variant cover, which I think is a lot better looking, in a beautiful 9.8. Look at that. That is so much better than that other cover, right? These have a low print run from what I've been told, and it's an awesome 9.8. So first appearance of Darth Nihilus and his apprentice. Really nice to check out. So guys, that's pretty much all I want to show off. I've been hoarding these books for about 2 months, and I know I said I would do an all Star Wars video. So there it is, guys. All my first appearance Star Wars books. Let me know which one of these is your favorite. Let me know if there anything that I should be picking up as far as first appearances, whether it's the Marvel old school books or any of this Dark Horse stuff, because I've just fallen down a rabbit hole at the end of the day. So guys, let me know in the comments, of course. And of course, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up on the way out. And if you are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because we are always dropping these types of videos as well as live videos on Friday nights with the other members, Everett Otto, Roger Levesque, and Dave in the Cave. Thanks, guys. Peace out.